guys, it's Gracie here, and I feel like I always say that and I need a new intro. Today, I am doing a review of my new favorite series, the Six of Crows duology. So, in October, I read Six of Crows and I absolutely loved it, and I was thinking about it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my new favorite book. And then yesterday, which was November 21st, I think, I finished Crooked Kingdom. And it was so bittersweet because I loved this series so much and I wanted to finish it. I wanted to know what happens. But when you finish one of your new favorite series, like, it's hard. And it's like, no. Okay, so today I am channeling my inner Nina Zenik. So I have like some red shirt on that's kind of like loose and cute and like, I don't know, just kind of like do my makeup and feel like kind of more like Nina-esque, you know. I like, Inej is my favorite, but I look more like Nina, so I just went with that. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo is essentially about six criminals that are hired to go on a impossible heist for a lot of money. And so Six of Crows is all about that heist and how they attempted and what happens, and then Crooked Kingdom is the aftermath of that heist. There are six main characters: Kaz, the evil mastermind, mysterious, dark, closed off person; Inej, the talented acrobat. She's quick and cunning and no one ever hears her coming. And there's Jesper, a sharpshooter that knows his way around guns and is very good at aiming and has his most fun in a battle. And there's Wylan, a red-headed former rich kid who just wants to get away from his father, and he's very smart with like machines and things and how that works. And then there's Nina, who I'm dressed as like semi today, who is a Grisha. She is a Korpalki heart trender, something like that. I mean, I can't pronounce things very well. There's Matthias, a Feudin, who was trained to hate Grisha, killed Grisha, and has now being forced to work with one. So basically that's all of my spoiler-free stuff. So if you haven't read Six of Crows, you might want to Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, you might want to leave now, because now I'll just kind of be jumping all over the place and talking about my thoughts. From the beginning of Six of Crows to the end of Crooked Kingdom, I loved Inej. Inej she's free-spirited in a way that none of the others are. She wants to do things, but she wants to do them to help others and to make sure people aren't put in the same situation that she was, and that no one else gets enslaved and forced to work for anyone like Tante, Helene, something like that. And she loves so passionately, but she knows what's best for her and she will follow that, and she's not a weak female character like a lot of times we see when there is relationships in some YA books. She's very strong-willed and doesn't take any crap from anybody, so I love Inej. In the first book, I could not stand Matthias, and Nina made me really mad too. They both would just argue with each other, and like Nina was trying to do what she thought was right and Matthias was going along with what he learned, and they both just wouldn't stop fighting. And then all of a sudden they were kind of just like slowly like liking each other again. Like Nina still liked Matthias, and Matthias knew he liked Nina but wouldn't admit it or wouldn't act on it, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, they like each other again. And like that's kind of what it felt like, and you could see that their relationship like blooming. You could see that coming from like a mile away. My favorite ship from this series is definitely Knej. Kaz and Inej are like so cute and I love them, but Vesper is super cute, and I did at the end start to like Nina and Matthias more. I loved the writing in this book. The writing in this book was so beautiful, and Leigh Bardugo's ideas and like the way she kept getting them out of difficult situations by having Kaz have backup plans and plans that pretty much always worked were amazing. Like, because you got the point of view of so many different characters, you never knew the full plan, because when Jesper didn't know the whole thing, she gave you Jesper's point of view, and when Inej maybe still knew the whole thing, Inej didn't really think about it and just was working on what she needed to do in it. I loved the way that she used the point of views to help the story go along instead of just going with, I like Inej better, so let's keep going with Inej point of views. The thing I like about Kaz is that although he is like crippled, his leg doesn't work very well, and he has to use a cane, he's so, oh my gosh, he is like so good at fighting and like uses his brains to his advantage, and like although maybe he's not the strongest fighter on the team, he has so many tricks up his sleeve that no one in the world or in Ketterdam would know, like, all of them, except like not even Inej, who's right there all the time. And like I loved this group's dynamic. There was Wylan, who's pretty shy, Jesper, who's super flirtatious and outgoing, and Matthias, who's just mad and annoyed all the time, and Nina, who's just like super out there and funny and loud, and Kaz is more mysterious and stuff like that, and Inej just like really wants to like help, and she knows that she is help, but she also feels used in a way. And the conflicting personalities worked so well together. Like, you would think, oh, they're conflicting personalities, how would that work well? But they did, and I loved them so much. The part where Kaz kind of says to Inej, like, no, don't leave, you know, I think it's at the end of Six of Crows, when she's telling him about her plan to kind of like get rid of slavers and people like that, and bad people basically. He kind of says, like, don't leave, and she says, why? Like, you know, kind of like, you know, because you can tell that there's something there. They both like each other. They both admit it throughout the book in their head and their thoughts, but neither one of them can act on it. Like, Inej doesn't think he feels the same, and Kaz doesn't touch anybody and feels like completely revolted when he touches someone. So it's the most difficult relationship and like slow burning relationship that I've ever had to sit through, but I was there with them from day one. I was like, yes, Knej, Knej for life, hashtag, like, yes please. And even though that relationship didn't like even really fully pick up in this book, there was moments at the end that made it entirely worth it. And I liked how Leigh Bardugo made me so happy with that relationship, even though it wasn't entirely there. It wasn't a relationship really, not even at the end, but it was beautiful and it was so well done. I don't know, I don't think anyone could have done that better. The whole idea of Jurda Perem, and the Ice Court, and Yobert, and that whole thing was so interesting to me. The way that she made it so that Grisha were in danger but empowered at the same time, and it was a conflicting thing again that worked so well. And I think that's like a really strong point in the way Leigh Bardugo writes and her ideas. So I did get spoiled for the death at the end of Crooked Kingdom, but what I have to say about that is, like, so I kind of realized from the beginning of Crooked Kingdom that one of them would have to die for the book to stay realistic in a way, if that makes sense, because they're all doing these impossible things and there's no way that they can all survive them forever and ever. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. So with that, I knew someone was going to die. I kind of ruled out Kaz in my head. I was like, they can't kill Kaz. You know, they won't do that. Maybe, I was like, oh, maybe they'll kill Inej, which would make me really sad. But then when I actually was spoiled and saw that Matthias does die, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. So at that point, I probably would have picked Nina or Matthias to die if I had to choose one. So I was ready for it, and I was at the end of the book, and I had maybe like 50 pages left. I'm not sure exactly. And I'm reading, and I get to the part where he dies, and I was in school, and I had to like shut the book and just like kind of sit there and like force myself not to think about it, because although I did not believe that it was going to affect me that much, I almost started crying during class. And the way he died, he gave himself up. He was just kind of like, okay, I'm a traitor, I understand, I'm a traitor to Fjerda, that's how I've always said it. I don't know if that's the correct way, but Fjerda, and bring me back, I'm a traitor, go ahead. You know, bring me back to the Fjerdans and do whatever you want. But no, that is a lie. The Grish aren't that bad. And those are his kind of last things to say to a Fjerdan. And then he gets shot. And then when he goes over to Nina and is like talking to her and telling her kind of his last wishes, and like, so emotional. Leigh Bardugo, again, writes so well. Her emotional scenes were so good. Like, you could tell how they felt, although it was in third person. I like most books that are in first person, and third person for me can be hard to read because I don't feel as emotionally connected to a character. But when I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom with third person, it's probably the most I've ever felt connected to a character. So that's saying a lot that Leigh Bardugo has the skill to do that. And I feel like I'm just praising the author, not really talking about the books that much. But the author is so good, and I love her so much. Jon Van Eyck and Pekka Rollins were like the perfect villains, because they both thought they were doing the right thing and just surviving. And, you know, Jon Van Eyck was a little more evil than Pekka Rollins in my opinion, because he didn't care. He was horrible to Wylan, and Wylan is such a little cute little dude, and like, you can't be that mean to your son. Like, yeah, I know he can't read, but rude. But the villains were done really well too, to make you hate them, but like want to know more about them at the same time. Where like Pekka, it was kind of like, oh, Kaz hates him, you know. Pekka kind of sort of caused the death of Kaz's brother Jordy, and Dunyasha fights her in the sugar silo thing and on top of the church building in Crooked Kingdom. It was nice to see someone that actually was like a fair match to Inej. Because yeah, Inej was like the acrobat and like the spy that couldn't be bested, and then she was, and then Dunyasha died at the hands of Inej because Inej was smarter. But for a while, it was very interesting to see that thing form where someone actually did beat her in like a little bit of a battle. When Jesper kissed QA, instead of Wylan, and Wylan was just like, bye. I was like, Jesper, no, what are you doing? I was so mad at him because, yeah, he should have noticed it wasn't Wylan. Like, also, QA just bothered me. I knew there was something weird with him because, yeah, with all his journals and stuff, and then just drawing pictures of Jesper all the time, like, yeah, like, you're no help, buddy. But then, like, at the end, he kind of was there and, like, kind of joined the group, and I was not okay with that. Like, I don't like him. Yeah. I'm really jumping back and forth. After Matthias died, when Wylan kind of said, we were all supposed to make it. And it's Jesper's point of view, I believe, and he kind of thinks about it and thinks, yeah, like, all of their strengths together would have made a perfect person, a perfect soldier, perfect criminal, basically. And they should have all made it. but they didn't, and that is kind of why I knew that one of them would die. I'm not really sure that I have that much else to say. Like, I have tons to say, but like, I feel like I've covered all the important things. Okay. Basically, one more thing I have to share, or have to say about this series, and then I'm pretty much done, I think, is that I loved Kaz's character development. Well, they all kind of had a good character development, but Kaz's sounds so weird, but Kaz's was the most, like, he had like the greatest development. And he went from not really caring about anybody, really not being able to touch people at all, getting just kind of mad when people don't do it right, things like that, to being like actually caring for Inej, actually wanting to try with her, and like saying things like he misses Jesper and things like that. And I just loved that so much. And we're like, Wylan got more confident, Matthias got nicer, Nina got stronger, and there's not really anything else I have to talk about, like, that I can think of, but I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos, and tell me in the comments if you've read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, what you thought about them, if you agree or disagree with any of my thoughts. And definitely check out my other videos if you want to. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Bye!